Hello, Chiori-chan here, and welcome back to part 2 of how to use the templates plugin. In the last part, I just went quickly over an example of how to wrap your pages, which was very simple. And we ended on me just displaying the conventions of the includes. Now, if you recall, I did have a little bug where the conventions for the theme name didn't want to work. I went and checked my code real quick, and yes, that was a bug, and it was just as simple as there was a typo in the code. So I fixed it, so hopefully whatever versions follow this won't have it. I know this wasn't a problem just a couple versions back, so it was something that happened while I made a lot of changes to the templates plugin code base. Anyway, so to continue here, as you can see, it's now being included, so I fixed it. So what I'm going to go over here in this part, I want to mention a couple things that I neglected in the last part. First off, I mentioned that you can actually go into the plugin configuration folder. So I'm going to go back and just show you this plugin configuration real quick. So here's our config.yaml. And as you can see right here, number 1 is the default doc type, which shows up right here. It's the doc type HTML. Here's that page data default tag I was saying you can change. Here's always render. If you change this to true, the templates plugin will always render the page no matter if you've used a templates annotation. As well as additionally, something to note is that if always render is on, by default the templates plugin will look for this theme path. So if you are interested in, not having to type any of this in your files, basically turn on always render and then just create this theme. For every file you want it to have that default theme. Then we have no commons. Basically changing this to true will disable the conventions of loading the commons file. Now I don't believe that will disable the convention of loading the theme name from includes, but it will disable the common. As well as no commons is actually an annotation option, which I'll show right here in a second. Next, ignore file not found. I would suggest leaving this as true. Basically what this means is that if it can't find a theme file or there's another issue, it will just gracefully skip over the problem and just ignore it for the time being. And lastly, we have render exception pages. Now this is one nice feature of the templates plugin, is it has the ability to take a server exception page and beautify it, per se. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a quick demonstration of this. I'm going to go in here and let's see, this actually needs to be a code file, so I'll make this a GSP. Type a little code here and whatever, doesn't really matter what it is. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and reload this and we'll get an exception page. Now this exception page is specially formatted by the templates plugin. If you didn't have the templates plugin installed, this would actually just come back with a simple stack trace if you're in developers mode, or just simply displaying the message if you're not. But otherwise, the templates plugin actually outputs a very nice stack trace telling you exactly, it pulls down code samples from the GitHub repository saying, hey, this is where I was here, and now I'm here, and here's the code and exactly what line I found this error on. Original code is what it pulled out of the file, and evaluated code is what the code looked like before it ran through the actual Groovy shell. As you'll note, the annotation is missing, and this has been properly formatted. I won't go into details about why that is now. Anyways, so I'll go ahead and remove that. So that's one nice thing. So yeah, very simple to use. So now I want to mention a couple other things here. Firstly, if you do turn on the always render, something that's nice to use inside the templates plugin is you can actually type @themeless. If you write this annotation, you're going to automatically force it will force the server to actually return and skip. Oh, here, I should actually correct that. It's actually themeless true. There we go. So it will actually skip the rendering of the page, regardless if you got anything in here, or in where this becomes useful is if you have always render on. Secondly, something that you probably was wondering is I pointed out how title was automatically inserted in the header. Well, you can actually modify that title by simply typing @title. So then you type in homepage. And you will see that what I put after title is now appended to the beginning of the title. Now, something to note is you'll notice here that still says Chiori-chan's web server afterwards. This is actually the title coming out of the site name. I'm not really sure if I have something in the code anywhere to disable this function inside the sites. I should be something I'll definitely add very soon, if not. But basically, the server will always append your page name dash the server title. So if we were to use another site, in the case that we're using the default site, it's actually loading the Chiori-chan's web server title. And next here we have, just excuse me for a minute here, I'm actually scrolling through a little code here. Oh yeah, the next one I pointed out was the no commons. So to prove this point, I'm going to go ahead and name this back to common. Refresh the page, you'll see that we still have this in the header. If I go inside here and now type the annotation no common mins and then refresh, that's actually a bug because that's a capital C. No, why is that not working? Oh, it's the, apologize again, it's actually the same true function. Well, hey, you know what? That's in my code. It must be another bug. I am so sorry about that. Well, I will also be looking at that problem when I get a chance here. Anyways, so now that my video has completely derailed, so anyways, we're gonna go on to, okay, 7.5 minutes. I'm going to go on to quickly giving you an example of how to actually make a real-life application of this feature. So to do that, I'm going to be using a Bootstrap template. We're going to drag and drop the Bootstrap into the code here. I got the JS with Bootstrap and the CSS. You can simply go to getbootstrap.com, get started, download. It's as easy as that. I love Bootstrap. It's actually very easy to use. And one thing to point out is just because this is a Java server doesn't mean it doesn't operate like other Java web servers. So it has the ability to serve up HTML files very easily. So for this example, I went ahead and I got this example off of their site. It already has the CSS and the JS included, so we're going to go ahead and save this, and we will navigate to that page. Oh, I must have a missing. What do I have missing here? Oh, it's all being commented out. What happened? Oh, there we go, we're missing you. That's what happens when you let... There we go. Alright, so now as you can see here, this is an example. It's actually being formatted by the Bootstrap. There's the Bootstrap CSS file. So where I'm gonna show this real quickly as a demonstration, is if we go over here, we're gonna go ahead and type in the annotation I previously showed. So themes default. We're going to go ahead and take the contents of the head, okay, and we're going to insert that into our commons document. going to save that. We're going to delete this. We're going to go to the end. We're going to remove the body tags off at the end and save it. Now we're going to go ahead and refresh this again, and you'll notice that nothing has actually changed. The only thing that's actually changed is now the title is up here. You'll actually notice there's two titles because this was the one I copied over. Now, so where we're going to go and make the containers is we're going to go down here, and we're going to copy what's inside of their container code. So we'll go ahead and copy that out. Oh, wait, no. I'm going to actually do this. Copy their container code, put it here, and then I'm going to copy this and put it into the theme's default, as well as put the HTML comment tag for page data. And you'll see again, nothing has actually changed. So I'm at 11 minutes again here, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break and we'll do our final part 3. I'm going to finish just a little more work on this to show you the view level. And then lastly, I just want to quickly demonstrate the HTML comment tags for the includes. So I'll see everybody in the next video.